both those games. It's been a Utah team that just has not gotten it going this year. A chance for a major win against Kansas here at home. The Jayhawks, though, control the opening tip, and Kansas on the road will have the ball first.
If you haven't watched Kansas play a lot this season, they do things in business as usual. They like to get the ball in the paint and score.
Dickinson from that elbow area misses his first shot of the night.
22nd in the country in points in the paint. That's who the Jayhawks are. Utah at the offensive end of the floor, they're a little bit more balanced. They don't have necessarily the true back to the basket type player, but they do move well without the ball.
Maybe their best passer is the guy who just delivered that one. Their big man, Lawson Lovering, who found Ezra Asar for the first basket of the night.
Some similarities between Hunter Dickinson's passing ability when they step away from the hoop and what you see from Lawson Lovering.
Right off the foot of Rylan Griffin, he just dribbled it out of bounds. Yeah, that's Utah ball. That was good overturn there.
Not a good start, though, for the Kansas Jayhawks.
And Bill Self is asking, what just happened? I mean, he probably couldn't see it, but we could see it. It went right off Griffin's foot. Jake Wallin, one of their big men who can shoot from the outside and can help take some pressure off, bringing the ball up the floor. I wouldn't say Utah has like a traditional pure point guard.
That's been a big part why they've had so much inconsistency. We talk so often, college basketball is about elite level guard play. If you don't have a point guard that consistently can organize you at either end of the floor, that becomes problematic.
And Gabe Manson's a really good player. All those three-pointers that he's made, he's got a chance tonight to set the all-time Utah career record for three-pointers made. He lost Mayo, though, who shoots the three and misses. But I wouldn't call Gabe Manson just a pure point guard.
He's not a pure point guard.
Asar trying to be aggressive early, kicks it back out. Here's Madsen, open, three, good!
So after missing his final 7 at Cincinnati, he gets it started early here tonight. He can get hot. His first half, he was 2 of 4. He came out the second half, hit his first 6.
Dickinson kind of rushed that one. That was unusual. So a slow start for Kansas on offense. They've missed their first 3 shots. Bounce pass, Lovering, no. Tip up, no good. On the offensive glass, Wallin had it knocked away, but right to Lovering. So Utah, with time on the shot clock, keeps it. So far, Utes playing with a lot of energy.
Kansas is not. They just look a little bit like a step behind.
Madsen jumps into a 3, in and out. Did everything but go down. DeJuan Harris is going to shoot the 3, and that one's good.
Welcome sign. He was 0 for 7 from 3 over the last 4 games.
They have not. Kansas has not been making a lot of outside shots. Wallin, 3. That one goes down.
Well, the art of the upset comes when you share the ball. You get people involved early. You get the home crowd behind you a little bit.
That's a good crowd tonight. They're expecting about 10,000 here inside the Huntsman Center. Rylan Griffin had it stripped away.
Where are you going?
On the break, the lob, dunk home by Asar. Beautiful transition offense. Utah came to play tonight.
Utah came to play, and Rylan Griffin just dribbling the ball to absolutely nowhere and creates a turnover, which allows the run out to play out in front of the KU defense. The Utes off to a good start. Thank you. A couple of perimeter threes go down for the Utes, and then off the turnover, the give and go, get it back and finish. Elite level athleticism up above the cup. 2 turnovers early, both of them from Rylan Griffin. And Kansas needs to settle down. They're 1 of 4 shooting. 3 of their first 4 shots have come from beyond the arc. That's not the strength of this KU team.
Griffin out and Dickinson out. DeJuan Harris has both of the Kansas baskets. Flory Badunga and A.J. Storr come in for Bill Self. Madsen curls around, knocks down his second 3.
If you're going to go over on the screen and you get nailed, the guy that's guarding the screener has to step up, and Badunga gapped and dropped coverage on Gabe Madsen. If you're going to give up a wide open 3 to number 55, he's going to knock it down.
Harris again. Harris is having to take charge on the offensive end. Missed that shot. Madsen, I think he thought about another 3 attempt. He gets fouled by KJ Adams. So another timeout on the floor. Gabe Madsen, we told you he took 22 of them last time Utah played. Well, there is a reason he shoots a lot of 3s. He's a good 3-point shooter. He's got 2 already in the first few minutes of this one.
I can get. Thank you. We started the game tonight talking about Utah's Gabe Madsen. 22 3-point shots. He made 8 of them. They've lost him twice, and drop coverage does not work. You get caught in the screen, and Badunga has to understand the scouting report. They said you can't give space to number 55 in white, and when you do, he's going to make you pay. And he's just a couple of 3-pointers away right now from setting the all-time school record, and Utah is out to an 8-point lead early in this game.
It's kind of the one thing that Utah, when you play the Utes, you hear coaches talk about, can't let number 55 get going from the outside.
They talked about it at the walkthrough and the scout for Kansas for a good 10 minutes today before they started going through the plays of how they were going to defend the screens.
Well, Lean's already made one. That one an air ball, but right there, Lovering, who then got fouled from behind. Austin Lovering, instead of just dunking that down and having a chance for a 3-point play, will shoot 2 free throws where he hasn't been very good this year. He's good at a lot of things.
Very kind of you to say that he hasn't been good at the free throw line. He's shooting 39% on the season.
I mean, that's
not even close.
Not close. Well, we got an ACC Big 12 Big Monday doubleheader on ESPN. Number 3 Duke, impressive again today. They take on Virginia 8 Eastern. Then in the Big 12, number 13 Arizona and Baylor down in Waco. That's on Monday on ESPN. Both free throws no good. That's a 3, and that one's perfect from A.J. Storr, and Kansas could really use a little more than that.
Yeah, a little bit of consistency from him would go a long, long way for this Kansas Jayhawks team. Had such a great season a year ago at Wisconsin.
Shot of jumps. I don't know about that shot. Way off the mark. Utes still lead by 5. Kansas trying to get into a little flow. Almost daring DeJuan Harris to shoot. Harris, who's so experienced, been around forever. Another one from the same spot. That one no good from A.J. Storr.
Well, that one was contested. Not as nearly as good of a look. A lot of standing offensively right now. Not a lot of body movement. The ball was moving, but people weren't moving, and that allows the defense to load.
Madsen almost stumbled and fell down. Lovering trying to bounce it down low to Asar. Bounce it right out of bounds.
This has not been a picture of beauty in the last 4 possessions for either team. I mean, a couple of rush threes for Utah, and then the turnover. A lot of standing down here for the Kansas Jayhawks. Everybody's just got to find a little bit of a rhythm and understand, like, if you're Utah, how have you had success? Get that on-ball screen action, wide open, good, clean looks. That has been your best way to go. For Kansas, they really haven't had any consistency yet. They're just 3 of 8 shooting.
Into the game for the first time. That's David Coit. He can shoot the ball well. One of the few Jayhawks where the outside shots are going down. He gets off a 3 here, no good. Long rebound to Keanu Dawes. Shot him jumps. Now that one's wide open. That one's good.
That's great action. You give the ball up, you come off of a screen, the defense gets caught. The communication right now defensively on the screen action is not good for the Kansas Jayhawks.
Yeah, Utah's 4 of 7 from the outside. Adams passed up a little elbow jumper.
Hubie Brown used to say early, loud, and consistent. On defense, you have to talk and you have to call out screens early. You have to be loud and you have to be consistent. As long as you do those things, you're going to have better awareness defensively of what your coverages have to be. And a lot of times when you have breakdowns on-ball screens, it's because nobody's talking. You had 2 players go with the ball. Well, if 2 players go to the ball and there's a screen, that probably means somebody's going to be wide open.
Foul on Zach Keller just in the game. Badunga rattles that one down.
And Dave, for me, if I'm Coach Smith, I'm seeing the way Kansas is struggling on those on-ball screens, and I'm going to put them in an on-ball screen every single possession until they prove to me that they can be disruptive there.
Craig Smith, 4th year at the helm, and he's an upbeat guy, very positive attitude as a head coach, but he knows his team just hasn't played particularly well overall this year. A win here tonight would be huge for this Utah program. Keller needs some help. That's a travel. 3rd Utah turnover. Well, no Gabe Madsen in at the moment, and the offense does look a little different when he's not out there.
But if you're Kansas, you got to be able to score some points in the paint. Only 2 points in the paint so far, and we're 7 minutes in.
Dickinson from Harris.
That's the action you want to see if you're a Kansas fan, is Harris getting downhill, forcing the defense to have to go with him, and then vacating that backline spot and Hunter Dickinson being there to finish.
That's his first bucket of the game. Double team comes. Walleen passes out of it. Extra pass. 3 right side. No. And then a foul. Clearly, Walleen pushed from behind.
Well, Kansas looking to build some consistency. Hunter Dickinson went to the bench early. Now he's back in. And you drive down the baseline, force that big to have to step over and try to contest Juan Harris, and you're going to find a wide open Dickinson on the weak side. Good job being ready, but when you play with a point guard like Harris, your hands always have to be ready. Elite level distributor of the game, of the ball.
Harris finds him again, and he just bulls his way in, but then missed the shot. Went off his hand and out of bounds. Doesn't miss many of those.
You don't score as many points as Hunter Dickinson has missing shots like that, and you tell him that, like in that moment, hey, don't worry, we're going to come right back to you in that exact same spot.
Harris checks out of the game, and Kansas sets up a little full court pressure. Still no Gabe Madsen in there. Lovering on the baseline, no. Coit got it back from Dickinson, way off the mark. Storr fought for it. Good effort there, couldn't come away with the rebound. And maybe an advantage for Utah with numbers. Walleen left open, knocks it down.
Not getting organized in their transition defense, allowing the Utes to run right into their action.
Zeke Mayo got fouled shooting a jump shot.
The Jayhawks having a difficult time right now slowing down the Utes offense. 7 assists on 7 made field goals. When the Utes have moved it, they've got open, clean looks, and they've knocked them down. A 7-point lead for Utah.
Well, that great day of college hoops does continue, and we sort of finish out the night here in Salt Lake City. Dave Fleming, Sean Farnham. It's Kansas, Utah in the Big 12. The Jayhawks on the road, 17th ranked team in the country. And welcome here inside the Huntsman Center. Kansas, look, Sean, they've been frustrating in a way. You saw a few of the notes about their season. Preseason #1. They've had some great wins, some great performances. They have not been overall as consistent as they were expecting to be.
Consistency comes with energy, though, and that was a big talking point for Bill Self to us at shoot-around. And early in this game, there's been a lack of consistency in the energy department for the Kansas Jayhawks. But you look at the numbers are positive. You know, you look at the net ranking 11, the KenPom is at 8, the BPI is at 9. Today, the NCAA selection committee said they'd be a 4 seed in the NCAA tournament right now. But the standard of Kansas basketball is not that. And the consistency that Bill Self has created as the head coach and the leader of this program has consistently seen this team dominate teams and not open up the door like they did the other night against Colorado, and then come here and play very flat early in Salt Lake City.
I mean, he preached to us all afternoon. We were talking to Bill Self, 22nd year here, 2-time national champion coach. Maybe right now, I mean, Tom Izzo certainly among those, but maybe the dean of college basketball coaches in the country right now. And Bill hammered to us, we just need to play hard at all times. If we do that, we're good enough to beat anybody. And I think you're right. In the first 8.5 minutes of this game, they've been sluggish.
Their ball movement, their man movement offensively hasn't been great. They've not been organized in defending on-ball screens against Utah. And Gabe Madsen and the Utes have made him pay. 7 assists on 7 made field goals early for Utah. They're getting to their stuff and they're running it.
Yeah, this is a Utah team. They have a couple good shooters from the outside, and Madsen and Willeen both have been open at times for 3-point looks. They've knocked them down.
A little bit better on this possession, getting through some of these on-ball screens.
Got to get a shot up here. Little will. That 3 is good after all that good defense. Miro Little found an opening and hit another shot from the outside.
Hunter Erickson, though, with that one more pass, that late in the shot clock, to have that much trust in your teammate. He threw it, and Little knocked it down.
It's been a mostly quiet start for Hunter Dickinson down below. He'll get the ball here. Immediate double team. He whipped a nice pass into the corner for an open 3 for Zeke Mayo.
That's one of the best aspects of his game. I mean, he makes a lot of really, we talk about his scoring, but he makes a lot of really good playmaking passes. He catches that ball, he sees over the top of the defense. If you relocate on the weak side, he'll find you.
And he's gotten better at that, hasn't he?
He really has.
Been around a long time. Madsen working his way through traffic, kind of leaned in and missed the shot. Got a good look, just didn't go down. So here's Kansas. Runner, tough shot from KJ Adams, no good. Utah trying to push tempo. Lovering, no good. Good hustle for the offensive rebound, though. Keanu Dawes. It's a 4th offensive rebound already for the Utes. Catch and shoot, short. Another one for Dawes. And he gets fouled.
Utah's outworking Kansas right now. And those little things, like finishing off a possession. You play pretty good defense. You're undersized a little bit. You've got to figure it out and put a body on someone and get that defensive rebound.
Neither team shooting brilliantly, but the shots from the outside going down for Utah, 6 of 11. And you saw that little pop-up graphic. 5 offensive rebounds for Utah, 0 for Kansas so far.
That's a made free throw for Utah.
That is notable. Utah is not a very good free throw shooting team. Their last game, this is hard to believe. Their last game they played at Cincinnati, and it was a higher scoring game. They were 0 for 3 as a team from the free throw line. They did not make a free throw, not one, their last time out.
And there's only been 2 other games outside of that game this year where a team didn't make a free throw. That was Colgate against Harvard on November 22nd. They didn't even attempt one. And then Fairfield versus Central Connecticut State on December 18th. They attempted 2.
One of these things is not like the other. So they're way ahead of their pace from the last time they played.
But you know what? Part of that is you have to be aggressive enough and accepting of contact to get to the free throw line.
Yeah.
They took a lot of three-pointers last time out at Cincinnati.
Caleb Lohner in the game and a nice attack. DeJuan Harris has been very aggressive in this first half on offense.
Now, he's primarily been most of the offense, and he's got 7 of the 19.
And that's not always his role. He's one of the better passers in the country, one of the better point guards in the country. Dawes underneath finds Lohner.
The help side defense of Kansas right now is watching the ball. They have very little awareness on where to box out their guy, or that time allowing Caleb Lohner, who's not a small man, to just run free right to the rim.
It's hard to lose him.
Played tight end this year for the Utes.
He had some touchdown catches for the Utah football team. Mayo, 3, left side. No. Another rebound for Keanu Dawes. Utah mostly has controlled the action from the outset. Madsen, 3, no. Lohner, though, big time offensive rebound. Madsen, they left him wide open. He'll try again and hit.
Bill Self's called a timeout. This is, if you play at KU, you're wearing a white uniform right now. This effort is not good enough. It is not good enough. It is not to standard. And if you're Utah, man, you're loving the fact that things are working out so easy for you. Get offensive rebounds, pass it to the best shooter on your team. The #1 guy on the scouting report gets freed for his 3rd three-pointer of the first half. Life is good for the Utes. They're up by 10. We talk about consistency and energy, consistency and energy, consistency and energy. That's what Bill Self hammered home. You're looking 4 3-pointers here, and I want you to give me an honest assessment of how many of them are contested. How many of them do you see white jerseys really flying out, being attached, closing out, making life difficult? It's not happening. Part of that's been good offense for Utah. The other part of it has been a lack of energy and a lack of awareness by Kansas at the defensive end of the floor. 10 assists on 10 made field goals, 7 of those from deep for Utah.
I mean, those 4 that you just showed, I think it's fair to say those are wide open looks from 3. And some of that is credit to Utah. Moore, left side, that 3 no good, and a foul on the floor. They're going to call Lohner for pushing on Hunter Dickinson.
Dave, you couple those wide open 3s that we just showed you with 6 offensive rebounds already in this game for Utah. And you understand why Bill Self was reaching for off the offensive rebound. He was reaching for a sub. Then the made 3 where nobody was contesting with the best shooter out on the floor. And he was like, we got to call a timeout here.
Nice
Great
pass. Dickinson finishes it off.
That's better than nice. I mean, that is a small window that you just threaded that one through.
Yeah, Shaq Moore, who's kind of had a frustrating year, been hurt a lot of the year. That one, Mayo got his hand on it and went off of Madsen out of bounds.
Changed things up defensively. They went to a zone and then put Zeke Mayo following around Gabe Madsen. A nice job there. But offensively, if you're a Kansas fan, this is what you want to see more of. Start dragging that dribble across a little bit. The counter pass has been a pass that DeJuan Harris has really thrived with, of bringing the defense one way and then cutting it back to the side you just came from.
Mayo picked up his dribble. Harris reset with Moore. Kind of got the 2-point guard look right now with both Moore and Harris on the floor. Adams has been quiet so far. Didn't shoot it, kicked it back out. And then a travel on this end.
And that's great defensive scout from Utah, what they want to do. And that's an example of it. They want to close the paint, and then they're going to leave open some guys on the outside that they feel aren't necessarily comfortable enough to really beat them from 3.
I think it's a good point. I still think KJ Adams could have just elevated and shot the ball. Could have. Easy for me to say sitting over here.
He can elevate up over the top of most people, though.
He can.
Elite level athleticism.
Madsen, catch and shoot. 3!
How do you lose them? That counter action not only working for Kansas, is working great for Utah. Second time Little has thrown a diagonal pass to find 55 in black.
That's a record-tying 3. Nick Jacobson and Gabe Madsen now the career 3-point make leaders in the history of Utah basketball. There's KJ Adams, his first basket of the game. We said, hey, Gabe Madsen, he's got a chance to set that record tonight. He has a chance to set that record in the first half tonight.
Good job switching that time defensively. They left him open again, though.
And Lovering had the ball go right through his hands and went to Asar, who had his shot blocked by Dickinson. Harris one-on-one. Harris is going to go right by and score. Nice move.
Little change of direction. And Madsen opened up his hips, and that allowed Harris to go right by him.
That's a big sequence. Looked like maybe a chance for a layup or a dunk on this end. Now Madsen has it stripped away. Harris on the floor. And I think they're going to call a jump ball.
And Dave, one of the rare times we've seen here in this game where we've seen them run out in front of the defense and get in transition. Such a huge part of the Jayhawks offense. But defensively, again, watch a little drag. Poor communication. Again, a long closeout as they lose Madsen. And then out in transition, just change direction. Force your defensive player to try to slide with you. And that time, Madsen just opened up his hips.
It's a lot of experience from DeJuan Harris. He's played close to, what,
164 games?
A lot of games.
That's 2 full NBA seasons, I've been told.
In his college career. And he's all over the Kansas record book. Assists, steals, so many of those point guard stats. Think about all the great players they've had. Shot clock starting to wind down. Asar faces, spins middle, kicked it. Willeen had to rush it and miss the shot. Here comes Harris out of the open. Gets it back. Open 3. Good.
That's a second three for a player that, again, I mentioned earlier, 0 for 7 from 3 over his last 4 games. 2 big threes to tighten this thing back up for the Kansas Jayhawks. Harris has been their offense. He's got 12, shooting 5 of 6. Usually a facilitator, they're asking him to score right now here in Salt Lake.
Dave Fleming, Sean Farnham back here in Salt Lake City, the top of this ultra-tough Big 12 conference. Your thoughts, Sean?
I think the most important thing is looking at that separation between Iowa State and Kansas right now, because the top 4 seeds get that bye all the way to Thursday, the Big 12 tournament. That means you get to play in the quarterfinals. You don't have to play on Wednesday. If you stay outside of that, that means you got to get there a day early. In this conference, the depth is there this year once again. I mean, we talk so much about the SEC, but the Big 12, and you saw it in Houston, you've seen it in Iowa State, you've seen it with Arizona, and Texas Tech is a team. JT Toppin, what he's doing right now for the Red Raiders is just silly.
Another offensive rebound for Utah, but they didn't take advantage, so Kansas can get even closer. I mean, nobody would have ever imagined at the beginning of the year Kansas might be playing on Wednesday in Kansas City, but that's especially if they lose this game tonight. I'm staring at that possibility. Adams. Dickinson fighting hard. One dribble. And no. Well, Lawson Lovering.
He's got length. He's got the length that can match up with a player like Hunter Dickinson, and it's cost him some issues early.
A bulk disadvantage, but he does have a lot of length. Dickinson just daring him to shoot. And Lovering right now is not a confident offensive player. He's not making free throws. I think that impacts everything that he does.
It does, and that's why when you're getting defended the way that Hunter Dickinson did there, it's a little bit of like, hey, we don't think you can make this shot. In fact, I'm so confident you can't make a shot from the free throw line, I'm going to stand underneath the basket. That plays into your mental approach as well as you're sitting there staring at that.
And Craig Smith subs him out of the game. I mean, when he's not in there, they lose. Adams got pushed. A lob from Harris. Nobody throws more lobs more effectively than Bill Self's team.
I felt a little bit like Fran Fraschilla there. I knew it was coming. And Fran always calls the lob out. Every time you listen to a Kansas game and Fran's calling the lobs, that short roll. Here, watch the lob play. This is the lob play. You put 2 hands on the back, though, it becomes a foul play. And Kansas gets the ball out underneath. A lot of times in this setup, they're going to curl off 2. And what you're looking for is really the second guy to come off the screen is going to be the guy that they're going to look to get involved.
It's more substitutions, including Madsen coming back out of the game. Kansas has at least stabilized. Mayo whips it to Adams. That free throw area, he loves that spot.
He does, and it's a little bit of that inside the free throw line, that little floater game right from the Big 12 logo. Very comfortable there.
I think that's why Bill Self was unhappy with him a few minutes ago when he didn't shoot. He's good at that. Almost a steal. A 9-0 run for Kansas. Only down 2. They were down 10 just a few minutes ago. Asar out of control, and that one apparently hit a Jayhawk before it went out of bounds. So the Jayhawks are on a run. Lead for Utah is 2 with 3:46 to go here in the first half. ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Phillips 66, proud sponsor of Big 12 basketball. right, Kevin, thank you very much. Lots for you two to talk about at halftime.
Oh, they've been on it since the first game of the day.
Working hard. Working hard.
Those two guys, marathon.
I hope somebody ordered him a pizza or something like that.
I'm sure Stephen Olin went down to the calf and picked something up for him.
Okay. Shot clock winding down out of the timeout. Utah's got to get one off here. Shot of jumps, a long three. Too strong.
What's changed for Kansas, right? I mean, they're on a 9-0 run. What's changed? Their energy at both ends of the floor. You see them moving at a much faster pace, better bounce, and a lot of that comes because KJ Adams.
He found Badinga down low, and that one, Badunga rather, missed. A little onomatopoeia there with the way the thing sounded coming off the rim.
I was like, whoops. Huh? Almost pulled you like the Luka trade. What?
All right, Utah needs a basket. Shot of jumps, no.
But look, they're stagnant now.
Yeah.
Now they're the ones that aren't moving. They're no longer in those on-ball screens because those on-ball screens are starting to get blown up a little bit by Kansas and their focus at the defensive end.
It's cleaned up the defensive glass as well. Those offensive rebounds have dried up a little bit. Harris has been so good in the first half. But Lohner moved his feet, followed him, and forced a turnover. That was pretty good defense.
Yeah, I think he was looking to drive that end line and then throw it out to Moore in the corner. And Lohner just kind of stayed with him and didn't give him that angle. And he just ran out of real estate. And a little bit of that deflection right off him. That's really good play by Caleb Lohner.
Utah has not scored in almost 4.5 minutes. 2:42 to go until halftime. They still lead by 2.
What I would do is I would get Gabe Madsen in an on-ball screen again. I think you're kind of going away from the hot hand. You start playing one-on-one, you're going to lose that battle with Kansas.
That's what they're doing here. Asar just pure one-on-one. Foul on the floor. Kind of bailout.
I thought that was good defense. I mean, if you ask me, who was initiating the contact there? KJ Adams had his hands wide, was showing it to the official. And Asar was literally just banging right into his chest. So I'm not sure what, as a defensive player, you're expected to do there.
Adams out.
And the problem with Adams going out is you lose some of that energy.
Madsen, 3. No. They're going to call a foul against Utah. Going over the back, Asar. 0 for their last 8 from the field now, the Utes, and that scoring drought is more than 4.5 minutes.
Okay, so Malcolm was talking about, and we've talked about in this first half, the three-point shot has been really good for Utah. But at some point in time, you need to be able to create and score in a different way. 8 of their 11 made shots.
There's your lob. Big man to big man.
All right, go ahead and try to stop that one.
Wow.
That play is throw it to the top of the box and see how high he can jump.
And he can jump really high. Madsen, 3. No. Asar all alone. And the putback is good. Oh, there's a rare 2. I think that's only their 4th made basket inside the arc in this first half.
Oh, wow. That is a poor pass.
Bad pass. He wasn't expecting it. Asar kind of out of control, but they'll call the blocking foul.
That possession wasn't pretty. This one was. What a beautiful job by KU. Hunter Dickinson, we touched on his pass and how good it is. He just gets better and better. And just that back screen by Mayo, and Badunga goes up and gets it. You mentioned free throw struggles for Utah. Here's another one that has really struggled at the free throw line in Asar.
Got the first. Oh, we got some great women's basketball for you tomorrow, Sunday. It'll start off at South Carolina, number 7 UConn against number 4 South Carolina, then LSU and Texas, 5 versus 3, 3 p.m. on ABC. Tomorrow, Sunday, you got college game day before that.
Texas beat South Carolina, ending their 57-game win streak in SEC play. Then went to Kentucky and won a top 10 battle. Now play a top 10 team for the 3rd consecutive game, looking to go 3-0.
Harris, no good. After the men beat Kentucky today, here's a 3 from Mayo off the offensive rebound. That goes down.
And all the struggles that Kansas has had in the first half, and they're in a really good position right here. Woo! They have taken control over the last couple minutes of this first half and get on the offensive glass. They were getting throttled on the offensive glass. Now they're not anymore. Now they're starting to get a little bit tougher. Badunga gets in there, gets the ball, kicks it out to Mayo. His feet were set and ready to ride.
Foul call. Badunga was not going to allow a three-point possibility. He swatted that shot attempt. Asar just made 2, and now he's made 3 in a row. Hey, he's getting better.
The coach talked about him at practice, and he's been really working on trying to improve his free throws because he gets there frequently.
He's a good physical player.
Yeah, far more effective player when you're able to draw fouls. He gets on the offensive glass and you start making free throws. Confidence starts to come in all aspects of the game.
3 out of 4 ain't bad. Last 2 trips. 2-point lead for Utah. Mayo finds Dickinson. That one, no!
Short-armed that one a little bit. I know he's got good touch on that, but he short-armed that one too much. No need to rush that one.
He's missed a few of those, hasn't he?
Just 2 for 7 shooting for Hunter Dickinson here in the first half.
Little drive.
That's goaltending. That's easy.
And Badunga also, I think, may have inadvertently elbowed Lawson Lovering as he was trying to block that shot. So count the basket. You got about a 10-second difference between game clock and shot clock. Mayo draws a foul. Leaned right into Gabe Madsen and gets the whistle.
Smart play. Zeke Mayo did an excellent job right there attacking Gabe Madsen, getting him on his heels and initiating the contact. That's what I was kind of alluding to with all the three-point shots. And you got a hand on, he's got his elbow down low, he's got the hand on up top. That's an easy call.
Yeah.
I mean, fans here don't have to like it. It's 100% the right call. And it allows Zeke Mayo to get to the free throw line, as a shooter loves to do, and see that ball go through the hoop a couple more times.
He's had a really good year. He's a cool story. Kid who grew up in Lawrence, massive Jayhawks fan. Now having a chance to play for Kansas. He's really played well. Makes both free throws. Utah now presumably is going to hold for the final shot of the half. I say presumably because in college it doesn't always play out that way.
You had one the other night, that Gonzaga-San Francisco game. They went too early and allowed the game to be tied on a tip-in going to the buzzer.
A huge play in the game. Just wasn't handled properly. The clock management.
Here you want to go at about 7 seconds. You don't want to go before 7 seconds.
Pressure on the ball. Lovering. Here's Madsen. Shoots it with 7 seconds. No good. Rebound and a foul against Utah, fighting for the board in the bonus. That means Marquise Passmore is going to go to the other end, the freshman, and he'll shoot free throws. And that, I mean, look, that's another one where it was a good shot. I'm not saying it was a terrible shot.
They went too early.
But they went too early. Don't give them a chance to get points. It's either a basket for you or we go to the locker room. Those are the only 2 possibilities.
Now you got the possibility of going to the locker room tied if you can make 2 free throws.
Let's see if Passmore can do it.
The largest lead was 11 for Utah.
No good. Asar from near the midcourt line. No. So Utah got away with it, and they will go to the locker room with a lead. We're going to find out. Kansas 8-5 in Big 12 conference play. Utah 5-8. It's been the Utes who controlled this game. Dickinson right away gets a shot off and missed it.
It was a good look. I mean, just missed it, but I do like the fact that Bill Self went to him right away.
Totally agree. Feels like that was by design. We got to get our guy going. Asar, more good defense. Adams has played good defense. That was a tough shot. Mayo Right to that elbow area. Knocks it down to tie the game.
If they're going to drop coverage, which means the big is going to drop off that screen action, Zeke Mayo can get to that elbow and free throw line jumper on a consistent basis.
He and Harris, the two Jayhawks in double figures. They really haven't been covering Lovering at all. Dickinson playing way off of him. He'll hand it back to Madsen. Madsen three, too strong. Dickinson grabs a rebound. Remember, Kansas hasn't led.
Kansas also hasn't gotten out in transition very often in this game. Everything has been played at a slow half-court pacing.
Out of bounds, turnover. Both teams looking a little sluggish here in the first minute plus of the second half. Shot of Jobs picked up his dribble. Lovering, they will initiate a lot of their offense from this guy up top. Hard screen. Three goes down for Shot of Jobs.
Yeah, Griffin got dropped on the screen by Lovering.
So another three-point make for Utah for the answer on this side, and Rylan Griffin, who hardly played in the first half after a rough start, hits his first shot.
And he had a couple of careless turnovers in the first 2 minutes of this game, and then spent a lot of it on the bench.
Lovering, count the basket plus a foul.
Utah is starting to execute a little bit better at the defense, at the offensive end, that role. And look, Hunter Dickinson just gets caught on the high side. I mean, he just overshowed, and that allowed that slip action to take place, and then exposes the back line of your defense. Ideally, Hunter Dickinson's going to tag him, stay closer to him, and not allow him to have that freedom to just roll the rim that easy.
First basket for the 7-footer, and he very confidently.
Did you see him? He put his hands up in the air.
He celebrated the free throw make. I don't blame him.
He has been it has been a struggle bus.
How about Madsen going for the steal and the dunk? He picked his spot beautifully. Griffin dribbles into a three, and another one for Rylan Griffin.
There's going to be a foul, I think, on Lawson Lovering. So you're going to get the made bucket, and then it's going to stay here. But not a lot of fast break points overall in this game tonight. Only 6 so far, but excellent job with the denial hand up in that passing lane. A couple of careless turnovers early for the Jayhawks here in the second half.
Griffin, though, has hit 2 threes, plus, you pointed it out, that foul was against Utah. Shot counts, and Jayhawks keep the ball. Now a whistle away from the ball, and another one is going to go against Utah.
And they're both on Lovering. I mean, that's 2 fouls on Lovering within 5 seconds of game action.
Yeah. And it's his first 2 fouls of the game, but still. They haven't been as good. I know he's personally struggled offensively. Wild play, intercepted by Shot of Jobs. 3-on-1. Wallin challenge, scores anyway.
That's scouting report carryover, understanding what they're looking for with that lob to the rim. Excellent job jumping the pass and not allowing Adams to get to it.
You don't see that happen a whole lot against Kansas.
They're one of the better teams in the country at executing on out of bounds underneath.
Dickinson's pass was deflected, trying to pass away from the double team. Shot of Jobs, pulls up for the 3. No. Lovering, offensive rebound. Behind the back pass. Maybe a little bit of overpassing. Wallin gets it back to Madsen. Madsen driving. Madsen scores with a foul. He's not just a three-point shooter.
That's the decision making he didn't make the other night in Cincinnati. The other night in Cincinnati, he cast the 3. Tonight, because of the conversations with Coach Smith, understanding your strengths and you can have other ways to attack, he gets downhill, draws the foul, and gets to the free throw line. 4 turnovers in the first 3:30 of the second half for Kansas. They had 5 in the first 20. They have 4 in the first 3 minutes.
And a couple of those at least have directly led to points for Utah. Dickinson completes a three-point play.
It's 17-2 in points off of turnovers in favor of Utah.
Wow. Yeah, obviously that is a huge difference in this game. Griffin shoots another three. No good. Madsen's kind of seeking one out, I think. Got cut off. Lovering off the bounce with the left hand, got pushed. He'll go to the free throw line. Clay made one basket. He does look a little more confident.
He made one free throw.
Yeah, maybe that's the key.
And I mean, I think there was just a massive exhale after that made free throw.
Well, he gets a chance for 2 more here.
And if you're tuning in and you're why are these guys so hard on Lawson Lovering at the free throw line? He came into tonight's game shooting 39% from the free throw line.
And missed his first 2 and missed them like off to the side.
Yes.
That one missed, but a little better looking. Pickleball slam 3 is tomorrow. Did you know that?
I did.
In Las Vegas. You got the couple, Agassi and Graf, and Roddick and Bouchard, 4 Eastern on ESPN.
You play pickleball?
I don't.
I have. It's fun.
Yeah.
It's loud.
I'm the only one. But it does have a unique sound. Sort of like that free throw hitting off the back of the iron.
I think you and I would be a good duo in pickleball.
I agree. Let's challenge Shambi and Fraschilla. Kick out. Mayo 3. No. I know we could take down those guys. Madsen 3. No. Looked pretty good.
Straight line, just a little bit short.
That would have been for the record. He's tied the career record 3-point makes in this game in the history of Utah basketball. Dunga back in the game. They'll lob it to him, and he gets pushed.
What a smart play by Juwan Harris, though. Just understanding the switch, and then Dunga had Madsen on him. There's no way he could get to the top with that.
So that sends us to a break. When we come back, there is a connection between tonight and the most watched college basketball game of all time. ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Phillips 66, proud sponsor of Big 12 basketball. That game, 1979, the national championship game, maybe the most famous game, certainly one of them in the history of this sport. Magic Johnson against Larry Bird, Michigan State, Indiana State. The biggest audience in the history of the sport, more than 35 million watched on television, happened in this building on March 26, 1979. It wasn't called the Huntsman Center back then, but it happened right here.
I think it's a game that has propelled college basketball into a whole new stratosphere, March Madness, and the stars that could be created at the collegiate level, and how that bled through all of the 80s. And it's changed a little bit. You know, with the transfer portal and one and done, it's changed a little bit, but it doesn't mean that we don't have those stars. You know, we talk about Cooper Flagg and his impact at Duke this year. Johni Broome, a guy that's been around for a while for Auburn, and how well he played, in particular today at Alabama.
Hunter Dickinson in this game for Kansas. But you're right. I mean, the star power of Magic against Bird on this court in this building. Just a great slice of the history of this game.
Speaking of slicing, Harris, an excellent job slicing to the middle of the floor off the bounce that time and elevating up over the top. 14 points, 6 of 8 shooting for him. Very efficient.
Shot of jumps. 3, no good. So Madsen on the bench right now, so is Lever. Loner in the game. Dumped down. Badunga with the left hand, no. Got his own miss, but then I think he dribbled it out of bounds.
Just not a lot of flow to Kansas' offense. Like, you watch them tonight and you see possession after possession. It's not easy. It always looks challenging. It always looks hard. It was awfully close, by the way, to being still inbound.
It was. Shot of jumps, almost lost it. Utah's offense, as soon as Madsen's out of the game, does look different. That was a good skip pass, though, and he found Erickson for 3. I take it all back.
Weak side defense for Kansas. I mentioned this in the first half. It's proving to be true a little bit here in the second half. The off-ball defense for Kansas has been ball watching. And that's what allows those skip passes over the top, Dave, and then long closeouts. Yeah, you say, well, they're closing out, but they're closing out late. The ball's already gone.
Yeah, it's like window dressing. And Harris along the baseline. Griffin kind of lost it. Shot clock winding down, and I don't think he got it off. It didn't matter. That's a shot clock violation. Another Kansas turnover. They're piling up.
Just previous possession, good offense. Load the defense almost up. Look at how everybody's kind of standing up straight. Nobody's in a stance. Nobody knows where their man is. Guys are running into each other. You got to get organized defensively. You look at the Super Bowl. The Philadelphia Eagles, how organized were they defensively in that game? I mean, everything they wanted to do was disruptive, and they blew up Kansas City's offense, right? Got to Patrick Mahomes, made him feel uncomfortable. Great defense in college basketball. Houston, get into you, make you feel uncomfortable. Utah's really comfortable here tonight.
I think Bill Self would like to have Jalen Carter. He'd be pretty good in the middle. Loner got challenged, and Dickinson blocked the shot. Asar came away with it. Shot clock at 5, at 4. Long 3, contested 3, way off the mark. Bodies flying everywhere. Here's Harris down the lane. No! Man, got a good look. He's made those tonight. Just missed it. Asar rather got knocked to the ground and is hurting a little bit, but he draws the whistle.
Nice. A little bit slow getting up. Hard fall on that spin.
Third foul, I think, against KJ Adams.
Been a frustrating evening for KJ Adams.
Yeah. It's kind of been a frustrating year for him. And he's played well. I'm not saying it's been a bad year, but so experienced, been around this program forever.
on his last 2 games in particular. I mean, averaging close to 12 points per game, getting on the glass, providing that energy. The short rolls have been really good. And tonight, he's been efficient. He's been in foul trouble.
Free throw miss from Asar. Chance for us to remind you that coming up on Monday, big Monday doubleheader in the ACC Duke. Man, they have been so impressive again today in Charlottesville against UVA at 8 Eastern and then 10 Eastern. Arizona goes on the road after losing at home today. Both games on ESPN. 1 of 2 at the line. Utah as a team is 8 of 14 at the free throw line.
You mentioned Cooper Flagg and Duke. They throttled Stanford by 36 today, and another great effort by the freshman. 19 points, 5 rebounds, 6 assists, and 42 of their 106 came in the paint.
Look at, we've showed that graphic of his ranks in conference play, not on Duke's team. He's in the top 10
in everything.
Almost every category we can measure, he's in the top 10 in the conference.
To say he's met the mark as a freshman would be an understatement.
Yeah, he's going to be the player of the year.
I think Janai Broome is.
You do?
I'm going to argue with you on that one.
I think Cooper Flagg is going to be the player of the year.
The level of competition that Janai Broome plays against is more difficult than that in which Cooper Flagg is playing. Doesn't diminish Cooper Flagg in what he's done. But I read those numbers. Janai Broome today against number 2 Alabama went 19, 14, and 6 with 2 block shots. He's been a beast. And then the number 1 team in the country.
You and I can have a little friendly wager on it. It's okay for us to disagree.
A round of golf with you at your place?
Okay.
And if not, then I got to buy a round because I'm not a member anywhere.
That seems like a bad bet, doesn't it?
There's a great public course in Encino Balboa when you come down with the Giants when you're playing the Dodgers. I'll take you out to Lakeside.
Mayo with a good.
I got connections.
Okay, good. I like
just not a membership.
I like it then. We got to work on that. 7-point lead for Utah. Madsen back in the game. Lohner attacks. Man, he is strong.
His upper body strength, even though he's shorter than Hunter Dickinson. You're talking about a tight end on the football team. He can overpower you.
Yeah, it's weird. He hasn't been playing. He played, what, like a minute against Cincinnati in their last game. He fouled Dickinson here. Sometimes he plays like a football player on the hardwood.
He was trying to strip the running back, but you can't do that on the basketball court.
No, you cannot. You can do this, though. This is a tough guy move against one of the bigger dudes in college basketball.
We went to the break with a foul called against the Utes, but watch Bill Self. We've got him boxed on your screen on the left-hand side. He had some choice words for one of the officials that didn't like it very much, and they gave Coach Self a technical foul. So where we will pick this back up is starting with the technical foul against Bill Self. And 9-point deficit for the Kansas Jayhawks.
Yeah, time's starting to run out. Now we know the Jayhawks can make a run, but that technical's not going to help things. Gabe Matson's going to be the guy to shoot it.
Matson, 17 points on 14 shots. 4 of 11 from 3. Got started hot early, has cooled off a little bit from beyond the arc.
Makes the first of 2 free throws after the technical foul on the Kansas head coach. I mean, as you pointed out, the call was against Utah going to the break. So it must have been an accumulation of frustration, I guess.
I think in particular with Hunter Dickinson and how physical they are and pushing them off the block, I think that's part of it. And they've been very much so the initiators of contact and making sure their body positioning is wedging, trying to push Hunter Dickinson further out.
This now matches, does it not, the biggest lead of the game for Utah?
It does, Dave.
Thank you for confirming that for me.
I thought it was a legitimate question.
Yeah, I was asking for real. I wanted to know. Harris, runner, no. And the whole Utah team goes up to grab the defensive board.
Just a concerted effort, right, to go after the glass.
Little almost got away with a push-off there. I guess he did get away with it. I'm not sure if it actually was a push-off. It might have been. Little, 3, air ball. Moline saved it, and a great pass. Lohner got hammered, no whistle. And Dickinson comes away with the ball.
You can't leave him.
3, no. A.J. Storr back in the game. Offensive rebound. Harris couldn't catch it cleanly. I think that broke up his rhythm. Out of bounds off of Dawes, so Kansas keeps it.
Well, you know, one of the things we talked to Craig Smith, and he said, you are kind of what you preach as a coach. Your team kind of takes that on. And I said, okay, well, fine. What have you been preaching to your team? He said, we need to get better at the defensive glass. They've done a good job rebounding the ball. They are out-rebounding Kansas here tonight.
Dickinson lays it in.
One of the easiest looks he's had this game. Have not found him often with that much space around him.
I mean, it's amazing. He only has 6 points. He's 3 of 9 from the field.
Remember, need 10 coming into the game, and you and I just assumed he might have that in the first half to get to 1,000 for the Jayhawks.
I thought it was a no-brainer. Moline's got a side advantage down here, and he kind of short-armed it, didn't score over top Mayo.
Without Badunga and without KJ Adams out there, there's not really that weak side shot blocker that's going to come over and erase a lot around the hoop.
Great position and the foul.
I'll tell you what, that could be intentional.
It could be.
They wrapped him up from behind and pulled on it, and they're going to take a look at it. And I think this is a good call by this officiating crew to take a look at it. You have to make a play for the ball. I don't believe that there was one, and I believe that there was definitely a pull from behind.
This could be shots and the ball for Kansas.
You're just pulling from behind. There's no play for the ball there. I mean, you can foul without doing all of this.
Well, you're better off just letting him lay it in. If that's what you're going to do, especially in the replay era, where you know they're going to the table, you're better off just letting him score. Because now, I mean, I'm pretty confident that's going to be free throws in the ball.
A good job ducking in by Hunter Dickinson, turning in and creating that angle, squaring his shoulders to the passer. But that's going to be upgraded. I'd be shocked if there's not. You're pulling the jersey with your right, you're hooking the hip with your left. And again, this is one of the things. Reviews happen. And I want the officials to get it right, first and foremost, right? But this is, I mean, I thought after one look, hey, we're good. Like, it's pretty clear. We're going to have conversations. We let one official come in, one official leaves. We get a cup of coffee. We order a little mocha latte.
And this is a very good officiating crew. A lot of experience. Trust yourselves.
Yes.
Look at it, make the call. Michael Greensteed has officiated a ton of big games.
The common foul has been changed to a flagrant 1 foul. Kansas will shoot 2 and get the ball to bounds.
It's the right call.
It's 100% the right call. Look at both of the second 2. It meets 2 of the 3 criteria.
It does.
And in the first one, you could easily deem it unnecessary.
Now Dickinson misses the first of 2 free throws.
77% on the season.
He got the second one, so 1 of 2 plus the ball. The lead was 11. It's down to 8, and Kansas can cut into that lead with under 10 minutes to go. Wallin goes to the bench. He's the guy who committed that excessive foul. Mayo, runner, way short. Madsen, fall away, no. Lovering got a hand on it, but knocked it out of bounds.
You want to make sure you get high percentage shots.
Did you read Coach Smith's lips there after that?
No.
Simple play is what he yelled at his team.
That's what he said.
It is.
Madsen needs to simplify things. Make the defense rotate. You want to shift it to multiple sides of the floor. Don't. Whoa.
Good save. Dickinson, catch, miss.
His base was too narrow. He got pushed off his line and is drifted away from the hoop. His base was too narrow.
Just a very unusual game for him around the rim. He is usually automatic on those. Little again. He likes to throw that forearm. They're not calling it. Madsen just lost it. And then he committed a foul.
Oh, the last 2 possessions for Gabe Madsen have been bad. And you know, here's the thing: you have the lead, you have to value the lead.
Yeah.
And so you compound it with a poor shot, a turnover, a foul that leads to free throws at the other end of the floor in a 1-on-1 now. It's just with a player that's as experienced as Gabe Madsen, you have to be better.
Yeah, he just got pulled out of the game.
We've mentioned, though, that their offense, though, changes dramatically when he's not out on the floor.
Shaq Moore at the line, front end, makes the first.
I do like the way that Caleb Lohner is being used tonight by Coach Smith. His numbers aren't going to jump off the page. He's got 4 points and 1 rebound. But he's been physical defensively, keeping himself between the basket and his man. He sets great screens.
I'm with you. He played 3 seconds against Cincinnati. He played 3 minutes in the 2 games each before that. Bigger role tonight. Asar attacks. He'll go to the line.
Right after KJ Adams, and KJ Adams reached in the last second. He just checked back into the game, and he just picked up his 4th.
I'm giving Asar credit for realizing that and going after him, because he did, and that is the 4th foul, is it not? I think they called it against Adams. And was that not a shooting foul?
They deemed it not to be.
Wow. Asar going to try to get him out of the game. Instead, it's a jump ball.
Good help side by Badunga.
So Utah keeps it. I think Craig Smith is asking the same thing that I was, like the previous one, not the jump ball, the foul. I was surprised that wasn't free throws. All right, arrow favors Utah. 16 seconds on the shot clock.
Go right after him. Nope.
Erickson whips a pass down low. shot of jumps. Adams challenged that three. Loose ball. Utah comes away with it. Dawes has been active on the offensive glass. He hadn't been real active as a scorer.
He's got 9 rebounds on the game.
Assar inside, lost it.
Trying to do a little bit too much there. Good job by Badunga, just sitting in a stance and saying, come on, bring the fight to me, and I'm ready to accept it.
So Kansas can cut that lead down again. Adams didn't even look at the basket. That's David Coit. He'll get it back and bounced it kind of to nobody. Adams, shot clock under 5. Finds Harris, 3, no good.
And no Jayhawks attacking the offensive glass at all that time. Everybody just getting back.
On both sides, the last few possessions just kind of unusual.
You want to get something going to the rim here if you can. I mean, just a poor pass there by Caleb Lohner. And offensively, as soon as Madsen goes to the bench, the offense hits the brakes. The Utes have not scored in 4 minutes and 30 seconds, and they've missed their last 5 shots.
Ooh. All right, let's take a look at the All-State Tournament Predictor. Now, these numbers will get refreshed at the end of the night when everything's done. But specifically in the Big 12 Conference, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 teams that are locks. Baylor is basically a lock. BYU's number probably gets better. They had a nice win at home tonight against Kansas State.
Yeah, Richie Saunders, 17 points, 14 rebounds in the win for BYU over K-State, which had been the hottest team in the conference with 6 straight wins in which they knocked off Iowa State, Kansas, and Arizona during that stretch. A significant win for BYU. Of course, they're waiting to see the Jayhawks on Tuesday night. Kansas State will be here Monday night to take on the Utes.
I think Cincinnati's kind of a dangerous team. They played better. They challenged Iowa State today, came up short. You see that number on the score bug that's rolling. Utah has been almost 5 minutes since they scored. They still lead by 6. Hunter Dickinson back in.
I don't know how many more times they can open up the door for Kansas to kind of walk through.
This 3 is good. Maybe they're walking through now.
I mean, you can't ask for more. Defensively, Kansas has done a pretty good job, right? I mean, you hold a team scoreless on their floor for 5 minutes, and yet offensively, you haven't had any rhythm.
Utah shooting under 40% for the game. Gabe Madsen back in. Whether it's him scoring or not, their offense is a lot better when he's on the floor.
Hunter Dickinson is just that's a silly, frustrating foul.
Yeah.
Ball movement's so key. When your offense and you start sharing the ball, it creates good energy. The skip pass over the top, no hesitation, a little shot fake, creates space. That's good offense.
The one thing about the foul, I mean, it is free throws, but it's a guy shooting below 40% from the line for a 1-and-1.
And as long as Lawson Levering, if this game comes down the stretch and Lawson Levering's on the floor and Kansas is trailing, I'm fouling him every time.
I totally agree. 8-0 run. The scoring drought continues for the Utes. Dickinson.
Whoa.
Wow. I just don't know what's going on with his.
I mean, that wasn't even close, Dave.
This is so unlike him. He's 3 of 11. Hey, it happens. Even the best players have off nights, but very unusual. Dawes, catch and shoot 3, was off to the side. You could tell out of his hand. Another opportunity for Kansas. Down 3. Mayo. Bounce pass. And the finish with a foul.
Bidunga just so good at catching and exploding. He coils as well as any big in the country. Watch the way he just sits down on the catch. It's step, and he's exploding up to the iron.
Imagine when he gets even a little stronger.
It's going to be scary.
He's so talented.
His upside is huge.
I mean, he doesn't have the pure size of Joel Embiid. There are, I mean, you and I both saw Embiid up close when he was really young. Embiid was a true 7-footer. Bidunga's 6'9", maybe 6'10". But man, is he gifted. In and out.
It's a 1-point game, Dave. Again, Utah's left it open.
6 minutes without a point for the Utes.
You got to manufacture something here. Look, drive. Get the ball in Gabe Madsen's hands. Tell him to drive. Get a foul.
He'll get it back. Shoots a long 2 off the rim. Great rebound.
I think that's a shot Kansas would love to see him take on a consistent basis. A long 2 off the bounce. Settled.
Utah's offense has just left the building. Zeke Mayo fouled. So he'll go to the line. He's hurting. I don't know if he landed awkwardly. That knee. Ouch. Hopefully Zeke Mayo's all right.
There's 4 on Gabe Madsen.
That's a big call.
Well, the concern right now for Kansas is Zeke Mayo.
Yeah.
He has been their most consistent 3-point shooter. Transferred in this year from South Dakota State, where he was a Summit League Player of the Year, averaged 18 points, almost 19 points per game a season ago.
It's such a cool story too. He's from Lawrence. He grew up a massive Jayhawks fan. Didn't get a chance to play out of high school, went and proved himself at a lower level. Bill Self brought him in, and he's had a great year.
Bill Self talked about it at shoot around for us today. He goes, having somebody that's from the Kansas area, it matters. And you know, wanting to get those guys to be part of taking pride in wearing this jersey in the changing landscape of college basketball that really loves the name on the front more than the one on the back.
So some obvious concern for Bill, for everybody on the Kansas side. I guess that's a good sign.
And due to the injury, Badunga is going to be at the free throw line. Utah is going to pick the free throw shooter, and they're going to force Mayo to sub out.
Just a
hyperextension.
Yeah.
Those are tricky sometimes because it's the am I okay? And with the fact that he wanted to stay in the game, you're thinking, okay, hopefully he is okay.
Yeah. Ankle twisted a little bit too underneath it. You know, the fear factor.
He is going back. It looks like he's going back to the locker room.
Yeah.
So obvious concern for a lot of Kansas Jayhawks fans watching this game. Regardless of what happens in the next 5 minutes, the health of Zeke Mayo is important.
Yeah. So Badunga at the line. Utah chooses him. He's about a 60% free throw shooter. He's missed 2 in a row. He's 2 for 4 tonight. All right, Flo, says Bill Self. I don't know if I've heard that free throw line chant before. He did make the second to tie the game.
Adams got to be careful not to pick up his 5th foul. I love the intensity and the energy. Look how low KJ Adams is.
Yeah. Playing with 4 fouls. Scoring drought continuing for Utah. They haven't scored in more than 6 minutes. Lovering had it poked away out of bounds. Kansas still, Sean, in this game has never led. They've got the game tied now.
Good job defensively, though. And some of this energy on the back line, Dave, I believe goes to number 24 when he was picking up full court and got in a stance. When somebody is playing with intensity at the defensive end, everybody else has to pick it up. They do. It becomes infectious.
Adams again just playing harder than anybody right now. Knocked it out of bounds. Shot clock 1.5 seconds. And Craig Smith is going to use a timeout to try to draw something up. I mean, his offense has disappeared. And give Kansas some credit for that. And that guy some credit for that.
Yeah. Utes 1 for their last 11.
Yikes.
That's not good.
Dave Fleming, Sean Farnham here from Salt Lake City, where the Jayhawks are getting tested on the road. Utah's offense has been iced here in the second half. 10 made threes. Gabe Madsen made 4 of them in the first half. He has not made one in the second half. And despite a quiet game for Hunter Dickinson, Kansas has tied this game.
And yet they've never led in this game.
Never one time.
Now they got to defend this at 1.5. To me, you're going to run Gabe Madsen off of some screens. You're going to look for him to be open from the outside. If not, I would slip Asar right to the basket and see if you can get something with him.
All right, let's see what Utah comes up with. They still haven't given the ball. They started to run their play. Now they get the ball. Can they get it in even? They do. Madsen, a high arcing 3, in and out. And the long rebound tapped out to Lovering. Here's Asar with Adams, who's got 4 fouls on him. See if Asar attacks. Asar, tough shot, goes down. Finally, the drought is over.
And what a big offensive rebound on a low percentage shot. And the O-Boards dominant from Utah. 14-5 advantage.
Huge part of the story of this game. Zeke Mayo, by the way, is at the scorer's table. Loose ball. Who's going to come up with it? Badunga finds a way. Here's Coit, 3, short. Rebound Utah. So that is a good sign for Zeke Mayo. He's getting ready to come back in the game.
Yep, no brace, no nothing on his knee. But right now, what's not a good sign is the Jayhawks continue to trail here. That's a foul.
Yeah,
I mean,
he did it
and it's on purpose. That is exactly what we talked about. The Hack-a-Shack is in play for Hack-a-Lovering. And Hunter Dickinson was like, I'm going to go ahead and take it. We're going to put 34 at the free throw line and put him under some pressure. See if he can make him down the clutch.
Three and a half minutes to go here in Salt Lake City. When we're finished, coming up next, we got SportsCenter from LA. Great game, #1 versus #2 Auburn, Alabama. One of the biggest regular season games in SEC basketball history. How about fight night in Montreal? Now, I have to admit, I didn't see the hockey game, USA-Canada. So that's a good teaser for me because I don't know exactly what happened. You got some NFL stuff, lots of college basketball news and more.
Wait, it's the offseason of the NFL and we're saying Cowboys offseason questions?
Sure, why wouldn't we? Kansas, when trailing by 10 or more, they've been down by 11 a couple different times, just 1-6 this year. And using a strategy to put Lovering at the free throw line.
But you got to get the rebound.
He missed the free throw, and then Kansas didn't get the rebound miss, and they don't get this rebound. What kind of spoils the strategy if he misses the free throw like you're confident he's going to, and you don't grab the ball. And that turned into the 5th foul on KJ Adams.
But that is a perfect, like if you just tuned in because we just crossed over midnight in the East Coast and you just tuned in, you're like, well, how has Utah got this lead? Well, they took 11 turnovers and turned it into 19 points. They're dominating that stat. The next stat they've been dominating is second chance points and offensive rebounds. 16-5 in the offensive rebounding category for Utah. And you execute it. Bill Self goes, hey, foul Lovering, let's give him the line. We're just box out. We gain the possession. Let's go. And you get everything done right except for the fact that you can't secure the rebound.
And I'm not piling on Lovering. So they finally figured out, yeah, it was on Adams. That was his 5th. So he's gone for the rest of the game. But Lawson Lovering can't make free throws. So Bill Self has decided when he touches the ball, we're going to foul him.
And it's a smart play.
I don't blame him.
We talked about it 8 minutes ago.
Yeah, as a possibility.
If this game is tight down the stretch and 34 is on the floor, you're going to foul.
You're daring Craig Smith to take him out of the game. Free throw good from Wallin. The 6'10 sophomore who's got a chance to be a really good player. He's got 9 points in the game tonight. Second one good. We'll see if the crowd can make an impact in the final 3 minutes. There are a lot of Jayhawks fans here as well. Loose ball. Madsen's got to be careful. He's in foul trouble. Here's Griffin, who came in for Adams. Way short.
Wow. He just airballed. That ball slipped completely out of his hand as he went up. Now you got to start working the clock here a little bit if you're Utah. You want to operate in your final third of your shot clock. 10 seconds or less.
Lovering touches, and Dickinson hammers in. That's Dickinson's 4th foul. Craig Smith wants a review. I think there was a legitimate play on the ball. It was a hard foul.
Yeah, that's just a rake across the arms.
Yeah.
There's no contact to the head.
No.
And now we're going to look at it. See, you mentioned it. This is a good officiating crew. There was no contact to the head. A coach is wanting to look at more and talks the official into looking at it. And it just stops the game. I wouldn't mind if that got taken out of the game.
It's a cover your rear end kind of thing, and I understand why officials do it. Be confident in your abilities. You saw it. It wasn't a flagrant.
That's easy. We're shooting free throws. It's a hard foul on the ball. He raked down, trying to knock the ball away, made contact with the arms. Let's go.
Yeah. Meanwhile, double bonus for Utah. So Lawson Lovering, who's a mess at the free throw line.
By the way, I will say this too. Not the worst thing for Bill Self.
No.
Because he's going to remind his guys how they need to box out and need to finish the possession, and then he can drop exactly what he wants at the offensive end. So while I dislike it for both teams, I do actually like it as an extra timeout for Bill Self to organize what he wants to do here. Utah's not organizing anything.
No.
They're just sitting there waiting, hoping that it's going to be upgraded to something that I don't think it should be upgraded to.
Yeah, I would be shocked if this is anything more than a common foul.
After review, the call stands. Due to the request of Utah's challenge, they've lost a 30-second timeout.
That could be important down the stretch of this game.
Could be.
But again, I just don't. I get to take the timeout away. That's fine. But like, just play. The game stops too much.
Lovering,
games
by the
take
way,
2.5 hours. Dave.
I'm with you. I'm with you. 1 of 7 at the line, below 40% for the season.
Shooting 2.
Double bonus.
They're gonna sub Badunga in here, and he's gonna take one of those rebounding spots underneath.
It's not close. Too often it's not close.
But now they got to get the rebound. That is not a guarantee.
And Craig Smith, at some point, do you have to think about just taking him off the floor?
Yes. Yes. But then it impacts you at the defensive end because you lose his length. He is 1 of 9 from the free throw line.
And Kansas this time did get the rebound. Little backdoor play. Mayo flings it up top to Harris. Coit, bad bounce pass. That's a turnover.
He's got to value the ball. Not doing it. The door continues to be open for Kansas to walk through, and they've yet to figure it out. They have not led for a single second of this game.
Amazing. Madsen, little shot fake, 3, good! A record breaker for Gabe Madsen. And a huge shot time to set the all-time career Utah three-point record.
Might be a record breaker, but it might be a dagger too. I mean, just a huge shot for a player that hasn't shot it well the entire second half. Finally gets freed up. His first made three in the second half after making 4 in the first half. And just over pursuit. And an excellent job and having your footwork so solid. Stop, hit the brakes, kind of like Top Gun, and it'll fly right by. And he's got 22 points now.
He keeps shooting, and on this team, they need him to keep shooting. He's 5 of 13 from three-point range tonight. A record breaker, maybe a backbreaker. They're showing it up on the big video board here in the Huntsman Center. Under 2 minutes to go. Utah hasn't beaten a ranked team in a long time, more than a year.
I will tell you this, I'm surprised Lawson Lovering is still in this game. 1 of 9 from the free throw line. If he gets anywhere close from the ball, you got to make contact right away. For Kansas, you got to play with a sense of purpose now, a little bit more energy. Try to get downhill, get Juan Harris to that Big 12 logo, get that floater game.
Harris, good bounce pass and a foul. So
not a bad foul though.
Goes to the line to shoot 2. You're right. He's not a great free throw shooter. It is interesting to see Dickinson and Badunga next to each other. It does emphasize Badunga. I mean, he's so physically talented, but how big Hunter Dickinson is. Yeah, he missed it.
I mean, instead of giving up a dunk or an easy layup, now at worst case scenario, you're giving up just 1 point.
Got the second.
And look, a little substitution here. I like that. At the free throw line, because it's free throws, you put in Hunter Erickson and you sub out Lawson Lovering so they can't foul him. He wants to trap it. You hear Bill Self saying, go get him again, go get him again.
Across the midcourt line.
Now you slow everything down for Utah.
Up 6 with the ball, shot clock under 10. Shot of jumps got cut off. A heave, hit the rim. Kansas got a push. Mayo just got cut off.
There's been almost no transition points tonight for Kansas all night.
Yeah, that's a foul. The Utah definitely didn't want to do that. I think you do have to give the Utes credit for that.
Kansas defensive transition's been outstanding.
Really good.
Only 2 fast break points the entire night for the Kansas Jayhawks. That's playing with the effort that you want to see. Just a careless foul there on Mayo as he's driving in.
Mayo's a very good free throw shooter. So we've seen a lot of bad free throw shooters at the line tonight. That is not Zeke Mayo. And you get a minute 4 seconds. Storr will come back in.
And the reason why he comes back in is because they're gonna extend out their pressure. They want their quickest and most athletic unit out on the floor.
Miss it.
You still press though and trap that if you want to.
Yeah. Shot of Johns takes it all the way in. Did we get a timeout?
No, they're talking about a clock issue.
Okay. So the basket is good. It's a 7-point lead. The question is how much time's on the clock.
Dave, time is running out for Kansas.
Yeah.
I mean, this is one of those losses. If it goes this way, Kansas is going to sit there and say, we held a team to 36% shooting on their home floor. We held them without a single point in the second half for 6 minutes.
7.
And couldn't score enough points to win. And this goes to sometimes not knowing exactly what you're going to get out of guys for Kansas. And I think that's
set to 54.2.
And that to me has been part of this, is that you look at certain players and you say, okay, A.J. Storr, like, he averaged 17 points a game in the Big Ten. He's got 3. Only taking 2 shots, not having almost no impact on the game. Hunter Dickinson obviously having an off night, 3 of 11. Griffin hit a couple of threes, but outside of that, those 2 possessions, really nothing the rest of the game, and some costly turnovers. And I'm not trying to single out just 1 or 2 guys, but it's a collective group. And if you're not getting your averages, if you're not playing up to the level in which you're expected, it's hard to win on the road.
Storr attacked and then missed it at the rim.
That has to be a layup.
Yeah.
Has to. Now you got a foul, by the way.
Madsen got rid of it. So precious seconds winding down. And that took way too long to get the foul on.
Over 10 seconds came off the clock.
Yeah.
You got to just foul right away. If you're going to foul, you foul right away, and you try to elongate this thing as much as possible.
Now Utah can basically put the game away.
This will be a monster win for Craig Smith and the Utes. And they needed it in the worst way.
This is Utah's first year in the Big 12. Kansas has never played in this building. You make the move to this league, you look forward to this game. Hey, we get a chance to get the Jayhawks here on our floor. And Craig Smith's team just desperately needing a signature win. And barring a disaster, they're going to get it. Down to 30 seconds to go. Dickinson shoots the 3. Good. All right, not over yet. He's had so many problems finishing around the rim, and then he does that.
Struggled to make a shot. 2 feet away, has been struggling for this 3-point shot pretty much all year long. That one didn't even think about it, just let it go. Again, if you're Kansas here, try to get a steal initially. I don't think there's enough time with a 5-point differential, Dave, to allow them to get out of that first trap. So if you can't get a steal out of that first trap, you got to foul right away. And Hunter Dickinson gets to 10 points on that 3-pointer. That makes him a 1,000-point scorer for the Kansas Jayhawks.
Kind of bittersweet, I'm sure, in the context of this game and how it's happened. But 14th player in the history of college basketball to go over 1,000 at 2 different schools. He had, what, more than 1,600 at Michigan. He had a chance to finish as one of the top 20 or so leading scorers in the history of NCAA hoops. And it's been a frustrating night for him, but that 3 at least gives Kansas a pulse. And that to your point just a moment ago, the 10 seconds they cost themselves by waiting to foul. You had a missed free throw on one end. You made a 3 on your end. You're doing a good job of gaining a little ground, but those seconds are so precious. That can't happen again.
No. And that's where you're playing for the steal right away. And then you got to foul right away if you don't get it. You need possessions. And this is not a great free throw shooting team overall. This is the best free throw lineup he could possibly put out on the floor right now. Gabe Madsen is taking the ball out of bounds. I don't know if I'd have Madsen take the ball out of bounds. I think I'd want him to maybe be the guy that receives it to see if he can get the, there it is, good.
That was a good little design. You pass it out of bounds, and then Madsen steps in and gets the ball and gets fouled.
Good play by Craig Smith.
Yeah.
Because otherwise you're taking away your best free throw shooter, the guy you have the most confidence in at the free throw line.
Yeah, the numbers don't really apply to him, but as a team, how many teams are there? 363?
364.
364. Utah's 353rd in team free throw percentage. Oh.
Keeps things loose, right? Makes it a little bit of an adventure. Makes it fun.
Living on the edge.
Live a little bit, Fleming.
14 of 25 as a team tonight.
Gabe Madsen, what a game he's had.
Yeah, he has.
You calling on a player to step up and make plays. He's got 23 on the game. Guys switching back and forth, trying to get their spot, to try to get the rebound. Madsen's like, there's no need. I'm going to try to make this.
Hey, and guess what? He did.
24 points for Gabe Madsen. coming off the game where he had 28, but he did it in a very different way than what we saw the other night.
Kansas needs it, and they need it real fast, like now.
Weave action is taking way too much time off this clock.
Way too much time. He got to shoot. Storr did. Dickinson draws a foul. So he'll shoot free throws, which, okay, in the end, a chance to score, but that took way too long.
That took, Dave, they got the ball back with 26 seconds left to go on the clock. It's 11 on the clock. You got to run something quick, and you got to get to it. Madsen will take the ball out of bounds. Will they run the exact same play?
They might.
They do, but they stay with Madsen. Got a foul.
Erickson. He'll be the guy going to the line. He has not shot a free throw yet in this game. He is an excellent free throw shooter on the year, but he hasn't attempted one tonight. Kansas needs misses.
You know, the colors here of the school are red.
Yes.
But they buy a lot of orange paint for the rims for their free throws.
Chip, chip, chip.
They both go down. They count as the same, partner.
Harris didn't shoot. Time's going to just run out. Griffin heaves it up. No good. Utah's got it, and they've got their big win.
Huge win for Craig Smith and the Utes. And the